Ghislaine Maxwell's trial was a win for victims of sex trafficking because it really brought their stories out of the shadows into the spotlight. But at the same time, not all sex trafficking and not all trafficking cases look like the situation with Maxwell and Epstein. Human trafficking has really only been paid attention to within the last 25 years or so within the US and kind of around the world. And so the first law that was passed to combat sex trafficking was in 2000, and that was the Victims of Trafficking and Violence Prevention Act. And that is the big piece of legislation that allows the US government to try and fight sex and labor trafficking. The vast majority of victims do not report that they are a victim of trafficking because they may not speak the language of the country that they're in, or they may be too scared to report it, or they may not have resources. So, experts kind of generally agree that it's very, very difficult to really track how much human trafficking there is in the world. And we do have some statistics. So, for example, we have the US National Human Trafficking Hotline. The number of calls that they got from 2018 to 2019 increased by 20%. And so that shows that there kind of is a rise in trafficking. A lot of experts that I spoke with said that sex trafficking particularly has really been on the rise during COVID-19. One of the main types of victims of sex trafficking are young teenage girls, particularly those who are vulnerable, who might not have a support system. Maybe younger people didn't have as much supervision as they normally would, and that gave a lot more chances for predators to, try and talk to younger people on social media and get them to eventually become a trafficking victim. Some people think that it is the government's responsibility to monitor social media websites. And we've seen over the past 10 years a lot of meetings and a lot of hearings between the Congress and CEOs of social media websites about privacy and whether they're doing the best to protect their users. Some people think a new law should be passed. And so right now that's a big debate.
Hey, thanks for watching. If you like this video, check out these other videos from USA Today to stay up to date with all the latest news.